Today in the crypto space, we see the market deep in the green, led by Bitcoin breaking out to $122,500, $600, give or take. Ethereum right around that $4,500 mark, hesitating, waiting for its turn, while we see BNB, IMX, Pancake Swap doing very well today. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, guys, I want to talk about one of the projects that has been buzzing the last little while, and that project is called STBL. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin, because Bitcoin is almost gearing up for a price discovery moment. Guys, we're seeing the volume, we're seeing the price action, we're seeing the sentiment, all in conjunction, pushing the prices to much higher levels. Of course, we have some good projects right now doing well, some altcoins doing very well. We have Ethereum still kind of like, it's still moving, but it's not really giving us, those altcoin vibes just yet. And this is so important because I know there's some individuals talking about Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin and what's going on with alts and the worry and what's going on with Ethereum. Guys, you have to understand the money flow and the way it works. We have to understand that Bitcoin eats first, and then the rest of the market eats whatever's left over until, ultimately people start rotating some of their gains out of Bitcoin and they start speculating on other opportunities, because once Bitcoin hits price discovery, once again, we know what happens. It becomes a risky scenario and people start looking for better opportunities without the risk. And that is where Ethereum comes in. And that's where Solana comes in. And that's where all the rest of the altcoins come in, because, guys, obviously we have to see that rotation eventually. Okay, so as we see Bitcoin pump, it will suck liquidity out of the alts, and that would be a temporary thing, guys, until we start to see that rotation once again back into the altcoins. We have some good trending price action today. Obviously, the market cap is doing well, hitting about $4.3 trillion. Volume is increasing, which is nice. Aster is doing great. A little bit of a recovery from that one. Pancake Swap waking up 30% to the upside. Guys, if you missed out on that one, guys, you shouldn't be missing out on the videos and the live streams that I do release every single day. We talked about Pancake Swap. We talked about the range lows. We talked about fundamentals. We talked about everything that needed to be talked about in order to get bullish on Pancake Swap and even BNB in its ecosystem. That's the reality. So here we are. Great price action to the upside. Let's scrape to the top 100 before we continue here and look at today's project, which is STBL. Guys, stable. It's been on a retracement, but it definitely needs our attention. We do have a lot of price action to the upside today. It's not major because, again, we are waiting for the altcoins to get their moment, but we have some altcoins as well. Look at BNB. Amazing. 7.4%. Amazing. That thing's built different for sure. We have Avalanche doing great. Still 2.5% to the upside. However, still doing good. It's up 11% still. We want the slow grind during this moment while Bitcoin is doing its thing. It's totally acceptable to see the altcoins take the back seat. Okay, we have to let the top dog do its thing first, and then we'll see the altcoins definitely flourish. As we keep on coming down, we see some other good ones. Let's see, a little bit of neutral here and there. Neutral is fine, but then we come down to the Near protocols and the Aptoses. Guys, I've been telling you about Near. Near is looking like it wants to explode. At any moment now, we're going to see Near make a move, and Aptos has been making its move, guys. 30% to the upside in the last, 7 days, which is amazing. Near protocols only up 10% right now, but still, I believe that the magic is yet to come on some of them. Even Athena now pulling back approximately 3%, but I think Athena is looking for another move very, very soon, guys. If you don't have your bags packed, I understand the risk you're taking right now because a lot of these altcoins that I'm referring to have already made their structures and they're at the top range of the structure. And for the most part, you're looking at breakout moments. And you guys know that I don't like breakout trading because you're buying local tops. But I don't know any other place where you're going to be buying without having that FOMO of, fear of missing out. This is the biggest issue. Are we going to get another pullback before we see Bitcoin hit price discovery and see that rotation in Ethereum? Obviously, it is possible, guys, but you are taking risk not having exposure into the market right now. Being a perma bear is not a good idea. And obviously, being a perma bull is not a good idea. But you guys know that I shift from bearish to bullish appropriately according to market conditions. I'm happy to be back on the bullish bandwagon, given the fact that, last week I was bearish for about a week, and then, this week full on bullish again. And as you can see, it pays off to know when to shift bearish and bullish. Right now, we have no choice but to be bullish. Until proven otherwise, we have to be bullish on a lot of these larger caps because rotation could be in the works at any moment. Now, we have Aster doing great. We have a few others doing great. Obviously, Pump doing its thing. I think 40% to the upside is great. I think it's done. You shouldn't be, scaling in right now. Obviously, there's many individuals that are looking for exit liquidity. Be very careful after, even 20% pumps. I start to kind of pull back and relax because obviously no exit liquidity from me. Zcash is another one, guys. It's doing good, maybe double topish, but 160%. Are you going to buy now? 160%. I wouldn't be looking at that. I wouldn't be looking at, although Zcash does have a great value proposition with regards to privacy, I would not be looking at 160% green candle. There's no way. There's no way, guys. Absolutely not. Let's keep on going now. Let's see if we get anything else. Few little dips here and there. 00. Finally, it got to, it's definitely on my radar. Let's put it that way. Tech sounds interesting. The narrative sounds interesting. What I need to do is do a deep dive. I need to look into the project. I need to know exactly what it is. Guys, I release deep dives every single Sunday. I have finished my deep dive pretty much on Redstone. I'll be releasing that one on Sunday, so stay tuned. And then I'll be hunting and looking for another deep dive, but you guys vote on them. Join the Discord and vote on the next deep dive, guys. It's very important that you guys get involved so that I can decentralize my deep dive process and the community drives it all, and I appreciate that very, very much. So let's continue going down. Let's see what else we got. Plasma, guys. XPL, it's falling and currently struggling to stay in the top 100. I was debating on whether I should be doing a video today on Plasma XPL. I think that it's going to be looking for its recovery very soon. I think the worst is over. The problem is that, the way we're positioned here, 31% to the downside, 10% of which is almost today, pretty much 9.1%. Not a good look, obviously, but I believe that the majority has already been put in as far as sell pressure goes. We are currently hitting some support. I believe that by next week, we should start having a little bit more of a confirmation that the bottom is in. You know that the weekend, by the way, guys, happy Friday, but you guys know that the weekend does bring us very stale price action, statistically speaking. No guarantees. We do have some good green price action on weekends sometimes, and even some good red days where we can be buying the dip. But overall, guys, it's not the greatest time to be trading, and maybe just take advantage of opportunities on spot and so on, and pack your bags if we get any opportunities. But Plasma gearing up until next week, I'm expecting some sort of market structure that could suggest, a change of character of trend, which we don't want. No more downtrend. We're done. No more lower lows. We want higher highs and higher lows, guys. We'll be talking about that one for sure next week, so stay tuned on that one. And by the way, guys, if you're looking for an exchange, just let me quickly introduce you to BitNex if you haven't known about it. It's a great exchange. They're offering a 20% bonus as we speak. You get to use tons of leverage, 125x leverage. And you have to use my link in the description. Obviously, official links only, guys. Be careful with those scams. So I do have a link in the description. In addition, you can get a great bonus here with your initial investment. For example, if you deposit $500, you get $100 in stables ready to go. So check it out. Links are in the description, guys. Great exchange. I've been using it for months, and so has the community. And all we have to say is positivity. All right, guys. Let's jump into today's project, Stable. Not very stable at the current moment. We have been getting a little bit of price action to the downside, but we have to understand that not only has Stable done well in the last while, like meaning, within the last few weeks, it's one of the major gainers, right? But in addition, it's part of the Binance narrative. As you can see, its contract is a Binance contract, so BNB contract, which means that it's jumping on that hype. And the ecosystem is definitely there, and we got CZ pumping bags and do all kinds of good things there for its community, for the BNB community. And here we are looking at stable retrace significantly in the last little while. So what we're going to be doing is looking at this retracement and where we're going to be hitting, and where it's possible that we should be looking for DCAing and entries just as points of interest, and then we will look for market structure to suggest reversal. Okay, we see that the market cap is at about $141 million market cap, so it's still very small. It's not like a large cap. It's not a $1 billion project just yet. Okay, so we got to understand that. And we also have to understand this dilution, a fully diluted valuation is quite high, and it could be very possible that we do get there ultimately once we see the tokens in circulation. Right now, we only have 500 million in circulation, while there's a 10 billion total supply. That's quite a bit, and there's that variance, that gap. The difference between total and current circulating supply suggests that there is room, a lot of room, tons of room for dilution. Tokens need to be issued, right? New projects, that's the thing. Their tokenomics are, have that weakness. However, to counterbalance that weakness, these projects, they release vesting schedules and how they're going to release the tokens and emit the tokens to this supply little by little. And we now have to make sure that the strategy is healthy. The strategy protects current holders, because the last thing that you want is that supply hitting the market and diluting the price. And that pressure of sell pressure as dilution happens is it could bring down the price. But I'm sure they have something set in place to make sure that either they're buying and burning, or good vesting schedule and unlocks that are controlled and staggered and so on and so forth. So guys, deep dive worthy 100%. All right, guys, let's take a look at their X just to get an idea of what they're up to. Let's give them a quick follow, see what they're up to. Stablecoin 2.0. Well, guys, that's a bold statement. Stablecoin 2.0, built for the community. Okay, good stuff there. Founded by Reeve Collins, Tether, and Avatar. I'm not familiar, but KAIO, backed by Wave Digital, USDT spend, yield, earn, stable, govern. Okay, so there's more. Obviously, click more to check that out. I think it's an interesting, introduction. Launch readiness. So let's see what their pinned comment is or post is here. Launch readiness update 13 hours ago. Stable protocol is entering launch phase on Ethereum. Okay, so far, because it is on BNB, it's EVM compatible, so therefore it's a lot easier for the transition. USST and yield minting October 10th, which is around the corner, so be ready for that one. Could get some good volume there. Stable multi-factoring staking on the 24th, so towards the end of the month. Obviously, we're in October, so we might front run this news. Institutional USST mint program kickoff with USDY. Okay, that's good. Institutional implementation. We know that institutions are all over crypto in the last little while, so having that integration and having that exposure is great. Up to 1 million stable buybacks monthly, buybacks and burn most likely, or maybe buybacks and lock. I have no idea, but obviously deep dive worthy. Lots more details, full details right here. Go check them out. Reeve Collins, the future of money, a good statement there. Let's see what else we have with regards to official links, posts. Something serious is knocking on the door here. You can see 2 billion initiative. Interesting stuff. Good social engagement there. We're excited to announce the USDO from Open Eden. This is another project that people have been buzzing about in the last little while, so consider that connection will be integrated as collateral for USST. This means stronger real-world asset-backed foundation, real-world asset, and another strong narrative, within DeFi, compliant yield. Compliancy is also important for the institutionalization of any asset in this space in the last little while, so very important, and a major step towards scaling ecosystem and stablecoins. So they got some good news here, guys. You can see they're cranking out some good news here. Decent engagement on their post, 650 likes right here since October 1st, which is not far away. Obviously, a day or two in, we have upgraded stable.com from a smoother experience. Listings are now consolidated under a single tab on top. Okay, they're fixing their website, making things a little bit user friendly. You can see that the team is considerate of all of that, which is good stuff. Guys, the team is cooking. The price is coming down. Is there a deviation here? Yeah, the team is cooking and they got things in the pipeline and the price is coming down. We have to consider that the price could get oversold and we would have some great buy the dip opportunities. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about price action, so let's begin. Let's see what we got here with the stable STBL token. You can see the price action definitely falling to lower levels. It looks like it's in a discount zone, falling through the volume gap. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, as you guys know, I don't buy tops, and I know a lot of people say that, but I literally have a very strong rule to myself, is when I see price action that's pumping, I don't buy. And I patiently wait for market structures to shift and to reverse. And it's a very clear distribution here, as you can see right on these tops. Let's just reminisce on some price action of the past so that we can inform the future a little bit as best as we can, right? Just from a statistical probability. When you look at this top and you look at this top, you're saying, okay, beautiful, higher high. And you see the wicks and you see the sell pressure. You can see that sell pressure right happening in there. You can see that momentum as this is happening is totally diverging. It's class A bearish divergence. And then as soon as you get the confirmation high, the lower high, guys, we get follow through and we make lower lows and lower highs. And that's my signal to say, you know what? Let's look for a discount. Let's look for an opportunity after this distribution when these individuals sold on the heads of individuals that bought these tops on FOMO. Now we go and we start looking for good horizontal levels of support where we can buy on the discount. What type of discount? What are we talking about? First of all, we have to concern ourselves with that's currently on the 4 hour, because even if you got on the daily, honestly, there's not enough data. You can see there's not really thing happening on oscillators, and we're coming straight down. I think the 4 hour is a decent time frame to be looking at market structure. Structure is what I'm looking for. Okay, just keep that in mind. We are almost oversold on the 4 hour. Almost. We're not completely there yet. You see the red expansion, it's still coming in hot. Okay, so we have to be aware of that. There's no divergence happening right into here. We're still making lower lows on the price action, lower lows on the momentum, which means there's no divergence to the upside, suggesting that we are completely weakening off here. There is none. There's nothing, right? So we can get into lower time frames and try our best to find something, but I would like a 4 hour structure. 4 hour structure that it means that we're likely to get a response that's worthy of a position. If we start getting into the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 3-minute, the 1-minute, what happens is that's lower time frames, and a 1-minute move is going to justify a 1-minute move to the upside, which is a small one. And I'm not here to make small moves. I'm here to make bigger swings to the upside where eventually we get into price discovery. That's what I want. To find that bottom that eventually leads to a price discovery moment. And at this moment, you can see the 4 hours in full control. We are almost entering that oversold state. We're not completely oversold, which means that there could still be a little bit more sell pressure until proven otherwise. Now, you can see that big green arrow there. Now, the green arrow there is my point of interest. It's my biggest point of interest because you can see the imbalance of the price action. If we keep on falling, that's the level of which where I expect the majority of the pain to be. That's the point of control. That's where we got the previous low where the major impulse to the upside became, right? So we have to understand that. Good volume. Everything's there. All the interest is there for market makers to push the price to that level. Does it have to happen? No, it does not. And I'm going to entertain why in a second. Okay, let's just take a look at the this oscillator down here, the trend oscillator, the multi-momentum trend oscillator and momentum oscillator. Guys, if you want to know more about it, links are in the description. It's a custom oscillator that has been killing it here in the last little while, helping me gain my edge in momentum. As you can see, the EMAs are facing down. We have the red histogram bars slightly diverging as price is coming down right here in the tail end. But more importantly, the expansions here are also diverging. This red part right, this green part, oh sorry, this blue part right here is still falling. It's not completely over. It could keep on expanding to the downside as the EMAs are in the bearish control zone. But I would love to see this confirm a higher low as the price action is falling. It would confirm a class A bullish divergence on trend oscillator. On the trend oscillator. For me, that would be great. So far, no major edges. You can see there on oscillators. So let's put them away. We're almost oversold. We're almost there. It's time to put it on a watch list. Okay, so what we got to do is look at market structure. What do I need from oscillators? I need them to be oversold. I need to confirm some divergences. I need to see some EMA crosses, and I need to see momentum oscillators, trend oscillators in the bullish control zone. What do I have to see from price action though? Well, what I have to see is, this trend right here with these lower lows and lower highs. I need them to stop. That is what I need to happen. Usually we start to see momentum shift from bearish to bullish before that happens. But what would confirm all of this would be a market structure shift, a change of character. And what is that exactly? That is any type of price action that shows us that we are making either a higher high or a higher low. Give me one or the other, and then I'll start entertaining a bullish thesis. And what I mean by entertaining is start getting more aggressive in my buy orders, start getting more aggressive with my position size, starting to get more aggressive with my leverage. Right now, spot bags, low leverage is totally fine. Low leverage, considering that we can still drop even further. Again, the point of interest right now is at around 11 cents. It does not have to get there, but the price action has to give me some data to suggest otherwise. Right now, we're still making lower lows and lower highs. So let's entertain this a little bit more. Let's get into a bit more detail here. Let's put some trend lines so we can kind of follow the trajectory. I'm not a trend line trader. I do not use trend lines to trade. Okay, so that for me is a very retail. However, what I like to do is visualize. We are still in a channel, downward sloping channel. We broke structure to the downside. We changed the character from bullish to bearish right here as soon as we confirm the lower low. When are we going to get the pivot? Well, it would be nice to get a divergence here, but we don't have it. So right into this level, we need to break above here. We need to either come up, maybe come down, make a higher low, get back above. Would be nice to break the trend line, no doubt. But as you can see, the horizontal level above, I'm going to just highlight that a little bit better. You can see this level, okay? You can see the range. We need to get back into the range. Let me make this a little bit bigger so we can see this a bit better as well. We need to get back above 32 cents for me to get really bullish again. Anything below it could just be a rejection. We could come back to this yellow line and get rejected and come down for another lower low. And of course, this is why I wait for the market structure to shift bullish, because I don't want to be taking chances below this level, because if we get rejected, guys, we're coming down again. We get rejected, we come down for the lower low, and then we dodge the bullet. You put your stop loss in, and you dodge a bullet. However, what kind of market structure do we have? Nothing. We didn't even make a double bottom or a higher low, or a higher high for that matter, of course. But a higher high would break above here. And if we broke above here, would be amazing, because then we get back into this consolidation, and maybe we respect that consolidation level as support once again. And then maybe we start to break out. And that reversal right here, and that structure right here, and that break above here would look so beautiful in this level, suggesting, yes, maybe we start to get some divergence right into that level and follow through in price action, where we are now making some higher highs and higher lows instead of just making lower lows and lower highs. So this is the level that we got to watch out for. Okay, let me clear up this artwork here for a second so we can put in a little bit more clarity here. What I'm trying to say is that ultimately we need a higher high and a higher low. Without it, guys, the trend is your friend, and that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Okay, so in the next little while, I would say maybe over the weekend, maybe early next week, we got to get something happening. Again, a move up here. Maybe we get rejected on the first attempt, but a higher low would be awesome. But eventually, what we need to do is break above that level. So let me just put a formal line into that level. Let me just get one of these. Actually, you know what? We do have that level already highlighted. And in fact, this imbalance is no longer that great. So let me fix the imbalance, because the imbalance, you can see we filled it up with price action. The imbalance is no longer that wide. The imbalance now is down here. We still have a bit of weakness here, few little nodes of volume. So we'll fix the imbalance, and then we'll also, okay, you know what? We'll leave this trend line. It's still very valid based on what happened there. Previous price action is very much an indicator of what could happen in the future. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. And then what we'll do is highlight, maybe what we'll do is highlight this level right here. We need to break above. Okay, and I'll make this a little bit thicker so that we can distinguish the difference. Okay, so ultimately what we need to do is break above this level. What happens below, right into here, is all going to dictate whether we shift or not, whether we change character of the price action or not. We do not want to fall below this level. We want to keep this range very clear. But whatever happens in here and we make a confirmed higher low and maybe an attempt for a higher high at any given point, guys, we changed the direction of this trend. And we should be scaling into this level as the data comes out. A higher low, you get in. You scale in. Right now, if you want to take a chance, you want to be a bit of a degen, sure, get into spot bags. A small spot bag, maybe a 2x leverage position. It's very risky, super risky, because again, we could keep on falling. But it's not bad. At least you're buying range lows, you're buying the impulse, and maybe buying the recovery, right? Maybe. But ultimately, a confirmation low, higher low is epic. Then we break the previous high, we get to this level. Now we're a breakout trader. You might want to get in on a breakout a little bit. Sure, a bit risky because you're buying local tops, but your average entry will still be okay, given the fact that your entry on the backtest should have been good. And then the breakout. What about if we backtest the breakout zone, confirm it, you get in a little bit here, and you build your position. You build your position all in the zone. Who knows where it becomes? But ultimately, when this thing breaks out, you won't mind. You won't mind because your average entry will be into this area. And then as soon as you start to see the price action unfold and we start getting into breaking above here and we're all the way up here into an extension level, you won't mind where you bought. You won't care about, the exact cents of where you bought because you'll be up. And if you start measuring, again, we're going to be very modest, just generally from this area to previous highs, 72%. What about if you double your money, you take your initial investment off the table and let the rest run? And with your initial investment, you can go hunt for another opportunity. This is how we look for healthy risk-to-reward ratios, is finding good pivot point structures that are being formed, slapping stop losses underneath, building our position and being patient and waiting for them to expand. And right now, stable could be at that level. Remember, the biggest point of interest that I have right now on this chart is down here. You got to understand that there's no certainty here yet. But if we get the structure, we're going to get some. The current point of interest still, if we maintain the trend, is to come down to about 11 cents, maybe slightly higher. Okay, so pay attention because the next few days might be very critical here for stable and many other altcoins that are in a retracement similar to stable. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.